Hello, welcome back to the channel, Flesh to the Father. Today's video, I'm going to be explaining why the UK is more of a threat to Islam than Islam being a threat to the UK. Let's go. Okay, so there's a common theory in the UK, where I'm from, obviously, that Islam is a threat to the UK. And I do agree in terms of it being a threat, in terms of it's against our traditional Christian values and our modern liberal values. So I do agree with that. However, Muslims should need to know that it's nothing personal against Muslims, it's against the Islamic ideology. And if you have any doubt or you think that I'm some kind of discriminator, I also believe that Judaism and Christianity are false ideologies. And if it was up to me, I would ban all Abrahamic ideologies from my country. And instead of following false Abrahamic ideologies and religions, I would ask the people to follow the true teachings of Jesus Christ and the true spiritual wisdom which comes from our spiritual Father, which is to be born again spiritually, realize that we are spirits rather than flesh and bones, and that our Father is a spirit who is made of perfect love as portrayed through the life of Jesus Christ. And if we all realize and serve that, we will create heaven on earth. And that is the true teachings of Jesus Christ. And that's what I want in my country and in throughout the whole entire world, rather than the ridiculous Abrahamic ideologies of an angry God causing hate and division and war and violence and false end time prophecies where everybody's going to fight each other. The Jews will fight the Muslims, they'll fight the Christians, and then Jesus is going to come back. But he's going to be a Christian, but no, he's not a Christian. He's a Jew who's actually a Muslim, and he's going to fight and kill the Jews. And then implement Islam. All of it's just a load of rubbish devoid of any spiritual truth, based in worldly conspiracies. So if you excuse my little rant, that's just me explaining why. It's nothing individually against Muslims, it's against all Abrahamic faiths and all false teachings. And I think also the whole point of this video is to say that I actually think that the UK is more of a threat to Islam. And when I say that, what I mean is, in the UK, we have been at war with ideological subversion, which means that certain groups have come into this country, sort of communist type groups, and they fed propaganda. So if you notice all this sort of ideology going on today, where English people are being taught to hate the country, being taught that you're all racist and all this stuff, that's ideological subversion. So instead of defeating a country with weapons, you do it through ideology. So obviously, if you want to defeat a country, you just try and brainwash their people to hate their country and become sort of mentally deranged in some places. And that's how you conquer them. And if you even look at Christianity within the UK, it has been conquered as well, because we have the agendas gone into Christianity. And the Muslims know that, because that's one of the reasons they criticized Christianity in the UK, is because it's ridiculous. It's been corrupted and it's clearly lost its way. And this is why I'm warning the Muslims to say that you have this idea that Islam could take over and make things better. But what you don't realize is Islam is more at threat. And you'll get an Islam, what I call the Sadiq Khan version of Islam, where, you know, he's going to all his parades and he's so progressive and he's got this weird version of Islam. So I was thinking, is he making a mockery of Islam? It's like he's almost taking the mick. But what I've realized is he is under this ideological subversion, and it's just affecting his Islam. And this is what will happen to Islam in the UK. It won't take over. It will become like how Christianity has become. It will become corrupted. And your young Muslim youth will be going to the UK schools and they're going to be corrupted. So they're going to come home just as the young Christian children going, oh, our religion is discriminatory and this is wrong with it, that's wrong with it. And they're going to be corrupted into the ideological subversion, and they'll move away from Islam, or they'll convert Islam into sort of the way that Christianity has become. And for any of the Muslims who will say, no, well, Sadiq Khan is just one person, Muslims will keep it. Well, it's not true at all, because the only reason I believe that Sadiq Khan became the mayor of London and continues to is because Muslims just vote for him because he's a Muslim. And the Muslims vote mostly left. It's something ridiculous, like 95% left wing, which is going along with the agenda. So it's not just Sadiq Khan. You have all of the Muslims in London voting for Sadiq Khan. So they're promoting what Sadiq Khan wants. So they've all been corrupted. If the Muslims were coming out saying we're not voting for Sadiq Khan, he's making a mockery of Islam, then I would say you have a point. But you can't have a point, because your fellow Muslim brothers and sisters are voting for this, and they're making Islam become watered down, just as Christianity has become watered down and fake. Even though they're fake to begin with, they become fake versions of what they should be. Or to clarify, Christianity and Islam, they have certain rules that they should be, but they're moving away from that to suit with the world and with the ideological communist subversion, the Marxist subversion. Whereas I suppose my position is that all the Abrahamic religions are essentially false to begin with, and that they have their ways, but I just disagree with them in even how they're supposed to be. You know, just as Jesus disagreed with the religious people at the time. Whilst there's some truth based in there, they don't reveal the truth which dwells within each of us and ultimately comes from God and God's love. Okay, so now I've cleared that up, I want to end the video, as I always do, with the solution and how to overcome our problems. And our problems is ideological subversion and propaganda to demoralize us. And the problem with Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or any ideology that's not of the truth is that it can be defeated. Now, the truth and God, the Father, and the Spirit of Christ, the Spirit of truth, cannot be defeated because it is of the light, and you can't fool the light. Now that I have the light, I can't be defeated and brainwashed by ideological subversion because I have the truth. But because Christianity and Islam is not of the truth, it has been corrupted, and it has got corrupted. And that is why I am encouraging people to move away from the Abrahamic faiths and return to the Father, the true God. And once we return to the true Father, true God, the true meaning of Christ, then we can win the battle, because the battle is a spiritual warfare, and it will not be overcome by worldly, egotistical concepts, whether it be politics, whether it be a religion, whether it be any type of movement. They're all of the world. The only way we can overcome the mess of our world is through the power of the Spirit of our true Father. And that is what I am promoting. And once we all as individuals realize that great truth, and we return and serve the Father, that will give us the power, the force, in a Star Wars analogy, to overcome the dark force. Okay, and that's the reason why our world is getting worse and worse and worse, and these evil powers maintain control, is because there is no true light in our world, or there is slowly coming up now. But not only when people like myself have found the true light and we're trying to serve, not only are we having to fight the evil subversion, but the people who should be trying to help us, because I believe that the Christians and Jews and Muslims, they all want to be on the side of God. It's just that they blindly have been deceived. And when true people of the light, just as Jesus was, when he was trying to serve the light, even the religious people who should really have been on his side, he had to fight them as well as evil. So Jesus wasn't just fighting Satan. He was also having to fight the religious people as well. When what ideally would help us is if all the religious people would wake up, return to Christ, come and join us, and then we will defeat evil and restore our world to a much better place for ourselves and for future generations, and ultimately for the glory of our Heavenly Father. Okay, so that's the point of my video today. And I also encourage people to unite together in the Spirit. Forget all these stupid things of being a Christian, a Jew, a Muslim, because it causes nothing but division. Anything that divides us, politics, religion, all this stuff, as Jesus said, a kingdom divided will fall. But in the Spirit, this is the analogy, in the Spirit, we're a kingdom together, and we will conquer evil and we'll build a better world. Okay, so that's the message of my video. If you like the message, like it, share it with as many people as you can, because this is an important video, especially if you're in the UK, but it's relevant to all over the world. And subscribe if you're new, because at some point I will be taking this extra serious. I'm going to get out on the streets and hopefully set it up as a charity and use the money to get this message and push back and defeat the evil, because it's of the light. And if people support the truth, our world will get better, rather than all these phony politicians. And they may seem good and they may have good meaning, just as the religious people, they seem good and have good meaning, but because they don't have the light, they can't overcome evil. Okay, so that's the point of my video today. God bless everyone, and goodbye.